So, I'm doing a special workshop on writing fantasy and speculative fiction in under an hour, about half an hour now. So, I thought I would sneak in a real quick kind of sneak peek on one of the most interesting elements, I think, and it applies to both the world building and the character element of fantasy, speculative fiction, any sci fi, horror, anything like that, but also really all genres when you dig into it. And on the world building side, it's this idea of not just what are we looking at, what's around us in this world, but who is perceiving it and how do they feel about it in particular. So whose perspective, whose head are we in? How do they think, feel, sense their world? And then also how that maybe feeds into the tone of a scene or a story. Is it scary? Is it magical? Is it beautiful? Is it horrifying? So I've got a few excerpts that I'll be using as examples. And the first one, actually, most of them are from Burn the Skies, Threads of Dreams, Book 3. First one is the blood stains have been scrubbed away, the gouges in the floors and walls filled and smoothed, the fallen-in ceilings replaced. Everything is painted in blinding white with the strongest lights I've ever seen, bouncing pain-bright rays off the sharply bland surfaces. Sanitized. And so we've got this scene that's descriptive of a space. The character's moving somewhere new. And seeing something that in the context she's seen before, but things have changed there. And normally these are positives. Bloodstains being cleaned up, that should be a good thing. The space being clean, even sanitized, that should be a good thing. But the way that the character is perceiving it gives us some hints about how she feels, how she's reacting to this, and even maybe a little bit of what the backstory is. Another one, I blow the sun to the horizon and drink in the nascent sunset, breathing the air brine sharp instead of floral and fluttering gulls into existence, so their piercing cries almost drown out the howling ghosts beyond the edge of the skies. So again, we've got first-person narration. We've got a situation where there's contrast. It starts out kind of beautiful, idyllic. You're looking at this lovely sunset, and then you get these words that just start bringing the tone into something a little bit eerie, something a little bit creepy. We start with, you're in the sunset, and then there's this brine sharp. There's something of an edge there. Floral fluttering, that's all nice, and then it goes into piercing cries, and finally howling ghosts. So this nice horror element of you have something that seems good on the surface, and then you start sneaking in these little bites against that. Another one, eyes in the waves and teeth, a darkness reaching and coiling across silt and stone to the edge of the trees, splintering trunks and flattening brush beneath a weight never meant for the crushing gravity of land. A little bit later, the bridge unravels, the waking world slipping through my fingers no matter how I clutch at the forest's gift, both of us cut off from that deep well of power. I dropped to my knees, gasping amidst the revoltingly cheerful meadow of the dreamscape, warping it into an ashen wasteland before I hit the mud. So this character, this scene is a little different. They actually have power over the landscape, and so it's not just their perception of things and how they feel about them, regardless of what they are, but they have the ability to change the landscape around them to match their feelings. And if you're not working with sort of a magical character, you can still use those elements, revoltingly cheerful, kind of add that edge to something that should be good, but according to the character isn't, or the other way around.